it was all about cards and close-up as a hobby. I grew up in New York. I used to love watching street performers in New York as a kid. And so after I went to college, I took a year off, I went to Europe, I came back, and I got a job like I'm supposed to, and I hated working in an office building.
Yeah, you had told me you lasted maybe 9 months.
That's exactly right, 9 months. And then I quit, and when I told my friends who work, normal people, they can't believe that I just quit without a backup plan.
Left, yeah.
Right, I just up and left. And I found myself unemployed, right? So I started street performing as a way to make money. Just because it was something I knew I could do. I didn't know how to do it, but I incorporated what I learned as a kid, what I knew from magic. And then when I was street performing, people asked me if I did kids' parties. And I said yes. And I didn't know what I was doing. I went to Tannen's, my local shop, and I bought some tricks. And I did the first show, I did the second show, I did the third show. And honestly, I never thought about growing up to be a professional magician, A. B, doing children's magic wasn't even on the radar. But I loved it. And what I say is I must have been good. I don't know, but I must have been good because people just kept hiring me over and over again, and it really accelerated very quickly. Now, one of the best things to happen to me was I wasn't trained in doing kids magic, so I kind of made it up on my own. I didn't emulate anybody. I didn't do someone else's routines word for word. I created the whole show from scratch, and so my style was original to me. I wasn't influenced by anybody else, and I think that was very helpful because I just did what I felt was best based on the reactions from my audience.
From what I've seen, and maybe it was this way in all of your performances, is that you really do enjoy performing magic, and you have fun with it, and you try to make it an interactive experience.
Yes.
So, and that's what I was talking about. I mean, just your top 10 are the things that, just like I said, if you're doing that, you're doing it right, no matter what you're doing.
Thanks. Yeah, yeah.
So this was what, your mid to late 20s, mid 20s.
Yeah.
So when did Silly Billy start to develop?
Well, I didn't want to be. When I first started, I was wearing tails.
Okay. You didn't know what right?
Standard Robert Houdin garb. Yeah. And I just thought, well, I want to be, well, first of all, it just didn't seem right, but I also wanted, I think that character, I felt was a little too lofty for kids. I wanted
the elegant magician character.
Yes, I wanted,
right?
even though, and I'm sure my style might have gotten clownier over time, but I didn't want to be that. I wanted my character to be more accessible to the kids. So, because I didn't come to it from the clown world. If I had come to it from the clown world, I would probably have makeup and a wig, right. And but I came to it from the magic world. So basically, I think of the character Silly Billy, certainly the clothes, as like magician, like kind of kid, like a magician that's a little bit more like a kid. So I'm sort of in between clown and magician. But
in such a good way, though. That's something that I just want to mention is that you balance between the two worlds really, really well because kids are actually frightened of most clowns because they're in makeup, and they're very frightened of most magicians because magicians are serious and invasive. So
that's interesting.
Yeah, you've really bridged the gap well by making a magician that's approachable, that acts like them and treats them well, like adults, and then a clown that is approachable because you don't have makeup on, you don't have a crazy wig on, you're not covered up. The only thing that's covering you up are the large glasses. The big glasses, and that's it.
And I also wanted to look. I didn't want to look like the other dads at the party.
Right.
I wanted, when I walk in the door, I wanted an immediate reaction from the kids, and they needed to know I'm not a normal person. I'm not. So that's where the look of the character is very odd origination. When I was a kid doing magic as a hobby, I used to pitch magic at flea markets in New York. 13 years old, 14 years old, I'm doing nickels to dimes on a little close-up mat at a booth at a flea market.
Sure.
And I'm pitching magic. So when it was time to create my costume, God, this is weird, and I've never talked about this anywhere. I used two sources. First of all, I was in Godspell.
Yeah, I'm
in high
familiar
school.
with it. Yeah.
So
classic Broadway musical.
Yeah. So I had these pants, which were very, sort of
It was
patchwork,
all rainbow
like
hippie.
rainbow hippie. So I took my gospel pants, the show Godspell. I took those pants, and I used to sell those giant glasses in my stand, in my dealer stand, to the public. So I went into my box of stuff that I had left lying around from when I stopped doing that, and I found the glasses, and then I had a money snatcher, which I put a little flower on, and all the original accoutrement was this nonsense that I used to sell.
Yeah.
And so that's where the glasses came from. And the hat, I think, was also part of Godspell, the Godspell costume.
Wild.
And the suspenders, very Godspell.
Yeah, very Godspell. Yeah, absolutely. That's pretty cool. Well, you had said you didn't really have any theatrical training, but you just gave it up. That you did appear in some.
I was in
some
high
stuff.
school plays.
High school plays. So no professional training at all.
No, I never took classes, but. Yeah, I mean, I was a
natural. It's okay to say it.
No,
we can tell that you.
I love being
on
stage.
Yeah, and that's the thing. You really have found like your dream job. What you're doing. It shows is what you love to do.
Yeah.
Let me. You've talked a lot about the process for developing the comedy moments. I mean, you've outlined all these little pieces. But is your creative process? One where you know in advance what you're going to do, or do you work it out with new material and start adding things in?
I'll tell you the answer, and maybe we could attach this as a PDF. But in my book, I literally use my book when I write a new routine, because in the book is a little chart of 33 of those items, 33 ways to add interaction to your routines, and
if we can get,
can we do this?
If we have to, I can walk it over there.
This one here.
We can see it.
Yeah, they're sitting down. They're not. No, they're not. They're not watching because they thought it was just a two-shot. They didn't even bother.
They're fine with it, and I'm going to bring it.
It's the one in your. It's the one
that way.
Yeah, that.
Incorporating these principles into your routines. Now I'm coming in.
Oh, actually, let me.
And I think we can probably PDF this for everybody.
Let me see one thing.
Sure. Yep.
Because I think I have.
Let's go back over here.
Wait, hold on. I want to stay with the.
Okay.
No, I thought I had it printed as a little checklist. Yeah, so that's the list. So when I write a routine, let's say I'm going to write a routine for.
Let's say you were going to work on a rope routine, because I'm going to challenge you, because you've never done a rope routine.
I've never done a rope routine, and but okay. So I'm just going to go through my thing here.
Sure.
So what I would do is I sit down with my list, and the list is just reminds me of the principles that I use. So let's start, and this is going to work out fine because everybody's already learned the stuff.
And we could take.
Okay, here.
Let's say there's a classic rope routine, like the Professor's Nightmare. Is that all right with you?
Yeah, it's
Professor's
fine.
Nightmare.
Yeah.
Because everybody's done it. It's done to death. Let's see what we do.
Let's see. One of the things I teach is